Dear students, in the last class we made a mistake to display the background image in your inline style sheets. Then you have to see you are not supposed to use the backward slash, you have to supposed to use the forward slash here. If you use the forward slash only, then it will work, otherwise it won't work. Now let us see this triple one. Let me take this property, I'm copying and I'm pasting here. I'm pasting Control V slash what is the name of a file? It is a forward slash 111.jpg, right? So here we have to change this with forward slash, not as in a backward slash, it is a forward slash. Okay, this is a forward slash. Now let you save your file and come here and open your HTML file within your Google Chrome browser. Now you are seeing within your background your paragraph is appearing this background image as a paragraph background. Okay, so this we have learned. So you have to be careful whenever you are inserting image as a background for your paragraph. Suppose if I want to do the body background, then what I have to supposed to do? I have to give here body, we have to use style is equal to background, not here, I will do directly in our code, right? Where is our code? Let me take this code. So CS6 open with notepad, and now let us change the body background style. Copying, I want to give the body background style. This is a inline style, right? Yes, it is an inline. Now let me make it with 12.jpg. Let me see what it will happen. Okay, 12 file is exist. Let me save it and come here. Let me refresh. This is not working because please observe here, it should be forward slash. It should be forward slash, right? Not as in a backward slash. 12.jpg, actually 12.jpg png, sorry, it is a png file, it is a 12.png file. Okay, extension is png. Let me save and check here with refreshing. So here the body background is taking as this our St. Mary's College logo as a background, and here your paragraph is displaying. But whenever you are applying the body background, this paragraph background style is not appeared. Let me remove this. It has to appear now. Actually, it is not appearing. Okay, so you just remove here and you can give this value here also. Cut it and make it as 12.png. okay, make it as a 12.png, bracket close, while giving this is forward slash. Okay, now let us save it and come here and refresh. Now you are seeing your paragraph background has turned with this image as background. Okay, yes. Now let us see CSS classes. So next our topic is CSS classes. It is possible to give an HTML element multiple looks with CSS. So we can give multiple looks with CSS is possible for your HTML elements. Say for example, sometimes we want the font to be large and white, while other times we prefer the font to be small and black. So sometimes we require a large font and a large color, different color, and sometimes we want that the same font should be in small with different colors. So if you want to give different colors and different sizes, you can give multiple looks with your HTML element by using CSS. If you want to do that, let us see here. CSS allows us to do just this with the usage of classes. Now we are having classes concept. By using this classes concept, I can give multiple looks for my elements. Okay, we just need to add an extension to the CSS code, and this extension is specified in the HTML. So we have to supposed to use extensions for your CSS code while you are adding HTML elements. Okay, so to better understanding here, we are having one simple example for your CSS code p dot first. Wherever the paragraph, p stands for paragraph, you are giving dot first as a class code. Okay, what is the classes code? Dot first. So wherever the p dot first is appear, the color of that paragraph will become blue. P dot second, wherever the paragraph is appear, the color is becomes red, and you have to save this with dot css file. So you have to suppose to save this class files with external css. Okay, external css. Let me do this program. Now you will understand this concept. Okay, so let me copy this file and come here. I'm writing classes concept. So to classes concept, in your head element, if you are using external style sheets, you have to supposed to use link tag. So in the link tag, rel tag is consist, its value is the style sheets, the type is consist text bar css, and href is you have to suppose to separate the design part, right? So in the design part, you have to suppose to take this. Let me first save it. Let me see the difference. cs7.html and save on the desktop. Now minimize it, and I'm opening this. You are saying nothing has happened, right? Why it has nothing has happened? We have not styled. If you want to style, we have to separately store this css code file in your html, right? Let me copy, and I'm taking new file, and I'm pasting. While saving, I'm giving class dot clas dot css. This is an external style sheet, right? I'm saving in the desktop, and I'm coming here in the cs7. I'm opening cs7 file, cs7.html file, not as a 6, it is a 7, right? Let me open the 7th file. This is our file. Please observe here, I'm referring class.css, which has been stored in your desktop. Whether it is stored in the desktop, let me check. So here the class.css file is stored. If it is a external style sheets, then whatever the code you have stored, it will be appeared in the form of gears. Please observe, this gear style is appearing, right? And now here you are taking the class identification as dot first, and class identification as dot second. Identification means we have to identify that attribute, right? So for that, in your code we have specified that, and we have written this html code in your css. Here we are taking the normal paragraph. We have not specified any styles, and for the paragraph class is equal to first, you are using the class concept. So you have to use class uh, class declaration. With the class declaration, you have to assign the value of extension. What is the extension of a paragraph? You have given dot first. Here the first indicates the identification of your class, and dot second identifies the class second. Okay, so for the style first, we have provided the first paragraph should be appear in the blue color, and the second paragraph should be appear in red color. So if I try to run this cs7 file, right? Let me open cs7 file. It is in the desktop. I'm opening it with your Google Chrome browser. So whenever I'm running, I'm giving multiple styles by specifying this class concept. Okay, so you're using class concept, right? So if you're using the class codes, then you have to call through external style sheets. Okay, so this is one program you are seeing here, and you are seeing another program. Let us see this program. You will find what we are doing actually. Okay, now I'm copying, and I'm coming here and taking new file. I'm pasting. So wherever the paragraph is appearing, it should be red and font size is 30 pixel. And wherever the paragraph test, the class identifier is a test1, at that time paragraph is appear as blue. Wherever the class identifier is a test2, its font size is 15 pixel and color is become green. So let me save this file, and let me save this, let me save this file as css in the desktop as 3.css. I'm giving 3.css and I'm saving the desktop. And now I'm copying this HTML code. Here my HTML code, it exists. Let me take, and I'm taking new notepad, and I'm taking new notepad and I'm pasting. Here the HTML tag is exist. And if you are using class concept, you are using external style sheets. In the external style sheets, link is a link tag you have to supposed to use. In the link tag, this relay tag is there. Relay indicates the style sheets. Okay, and type indicates the text bar css, and href, we have to specify the address of your style class. So what is the style class address? What is the name of our style class address? We have given 3, right? Let me give it as a 3. Let me give it as a 3.css. And for the paragraph class, you are calling the value as a test1. It will refers in the 3, it will refers in the 3 as, it will refer in the 3 the color as red, for the paragraph color as red, and font size is 30 pixels. And if you call the class as a test1, so here you are calling the class as the test1, paragraph class as the test1 value, the identification is the test1. This content will be appear with color blue, and wherever the class test2 is appearing, that appears with font size 15 pixels and green, with the color green. So whether it is working or not, let me save it first, and cs8.html, okay, and save it. And now minimize it and come here and open this file and open in Chrome. So you are identifying the paragraph is appearing with 30 pixels with red color. This is a test1 class, it is appearing with 15 pixels and color is blue. And this is test2 with specified font. What is the font size you have specified? 15 pixel, right? 15 pixel with green, so green color is appearing. It is a default paragraph, so it is a taking default value, that is HS paragraph, that is 5, right? Okay, font style 5 it will be taken. Okay. So that is about your class concept. Here you are seeing, if you try to run this program, you are seeing your output with this, this is a normal paragraph with 30 pixel, and normal paragraph with 30 pixel, and test1 is with default size and default font size, and test2 is taking with 15 pixels. Okay, yes. With CSS you are able to see background colors or images of any CSS elements. Also you can set background colors and background images. In addition, you have control over how background images is displayed. Also you can give the controls of your background image, how it should be displayed. You may choose to have it repeat horizontally, vertically, or neither direction. So if you want to repeat that images or either horizontally or vertically, neither directions, also you can specify. So we will learn this concept one by one by using this concept. You may also choose to have background remain in a fixed position. So for your background also you can specify with the fixed position, or it scrolls as it does normally. So you can also make your background scroll properties also possible by using these styles. Okay, now we are going to be learning your CSS background color. Let us see background color properties. Here couple of examples are exist of your backgrounds. Let us check this first HTML. So let me check what it has done, afterwards what we have to do. Okay, Yes, let me copy new file and I'm pasting. Let us understand this program first. Here the style tag is used. If the style tag is which style sheet it is? Global style sheet, right? If you are using the style tag means global or embedded or internal, right? Yes, correct. Global or embedded or global or embedded or internal. Yes, it is correct, right? So let me take this example. This is a sample example of uh, global or internal or embedded css, right? Yes, let us see what we are doing. We are taking style tag. Within the style tag we are specifying the type as the text bar css, and I am taking paragraph element. Whenever the in by body paragraph element is appears, that background color must be hash 107 some hexadecimal format as given. So it will take according to the hexadecimal value format. And if you take heading 1, wherever the heading 1 is appear, I'm applying the background color as red. And I'm taking heading 2 tag. Wherever the heading 2 tag is appear, the background color with RGB format. So likewise you can give your background color either in the form of direct prescribed colors or RGB colors or hexadecimal coloring systems, right? So wherever the paragraph is appear, it will take according to this color code. And wherever the h1 tag is appear, it will take red color. Wherever the h2 tag is appear, it will be take according to the RGB. So here RGB, most of the colors are the RGB red green blue combinations only. But with these red green blue combinations we can view 2.5 million colors. We can view 2.5 million colors. Here we are giving the combination of red as 255, green as 200, and blue is 0. It will get one color. We do not know. Let us see. If we run this program only, we can get which code will come. I'm storing cs9.html in the desktop. Let me close it. Let me minimize it. And this is your cs9 file. Let me open it with Google Chrome. Now I'm identifying this paragraph is appearing. This paragraph is appearing with, sorry, where is that file code? Yes, this paragraph is appearing with background color as somewhat blue, right? It is appearing blue. And second one is red background color is appearing. And third heading 2 is appearing in the form of RGB. It is a mixed color value, so we are getting one color, right? So likewise you can apply the background colors for your style sheets. Okay, so if you want to place the background image now, then how to do this? So you can, in the last class only we have learned about the just now we have learned about the background image. So once again let me check. If you want to give the background image, then here we can take, instead of background color, let me take background image. Okay, I will take here, where is that where is our program? This is our program, right? Let me take cs9, open with notepad. Now in the place of red I want to get an image, so I will make background image. If you are making the image, here you have to supposed to use URL followed by the address of the image. So what is the address of the image? Let me take this triple one only. Now let me copy. It is jpg. Let me copy, and I'm coming here and I'm pasting here. Okay, it must be backward, not a backward slash. It must be a forward slash. Okay, it must be a forward slash followed by name of the file. What is the name of the file? 111.jpg, right? And afterwards you can also specify its height and width. Let me specify its height as 200, no, not a 200, 75 is enough. And width, sorry, height colon, right, height colon 75, semicolon, width colon 100, or let me make it as a 200. Let me check, and it should be terminated with semicolon. Now let me save it and check your background. So I'm identifying this paragraph is appearing with the background image with height and width specified. So here height and width we have specified in the form of a pixel, so hence it is taking as a 75 pixel and 200 pixel. Suppose you can also give in the form of a percentage. So if I give in the percentage, then we have to see what is the height and width of your paragraph. So your, sorry, height and width of your background image. So if you give in the form of a pixel, it will show in shorter form. If you take in the percentage, then according to the percentage it is displayed. Okay, yes. Now we are learning here. Let me make it as a 500 pixel, and here it is 800 pixel. If you just give as a numbers, then it is treated in the form of a pixel or points, or if you give as a percentage, then it will be taken in the form of percentage. Got it? So within this height and width, it is taking your image as background. Okay, and now if you want to repeat the image, if you want to repeat the same image, then you have to suppose to modify either horizontally or vertically. So here it is repeating, actually it is repeating, we don't want, right? Let me remove this height and width first, then you came to know how it will work. I'm removing height and width properties. If I remove height and width properties, now you will came to know how it works. So it is appearing, this image is appearing within one single line, right? Suppose if I want to make it as a repeat image to repeat, then you see how to perform that. You can have a background image repeat vertically or horizontally in both direction or neither directions. Then you have to suppose to write background repeat. Background repeat, here it is a styles are given. Let me take these values for our h1, h2, h3, h4. Here it is there. Let me copy this program. It is always better to copy, and let me take some other images also. Okay, let me copy. Here it is given. Let me take one new notepad, file, new, paste, right? Okay, so let me download some images. We do not have images, right? Let me download some images. Images, this is some images. Let me download this. Okay, let me download, save images, 13, save images, 14, and save images, 15. Enough. Let me take this one. Okay, save images, 16, 14, 15, 16. Okay, now 4 images are exist, and for a better understanding, let me copy this file already copied. Let me save this file in the desktop with the name of cs10.html, cs10.html, right? So we are taking, it is a inline internal concept, right? Sorry, global or internal or embedded. Here wherever the h1 tag is appear, we are taking the background image. The background image is, we have to suppose to give, what happened, nothing happened. Let me remove. We have to give the address, right? What is the address of these images? Let me check. 13, 14, 15, 16, 111. Okay, properties. Let me copy and modify here. Okay, let me modify here with slash 13.jpg. Okay, these should be modified as forward slash, not as a backward slash. It is a forward slash. Okay, yes. Okay, now background repeat. You are using the property of a background repeat. It has to repeat y. Here y indicates, what does the y indicates? Vertically. It will repeat vertically. Okay, x indicates horizontally. Okay, so this is the address. If you are repeating the image vertically, the image it is repeating with background color RGB color, it will take these colors. And let us take the address of the image is the same and modify with the value. We are repeating the same image. Okay, now it is 14. I am making it as a 14, right? And background repeat, here repeat x. So repeat hyphen y means what happens? The image will repeat vertically, right? So repeat x means horizontally it will repeat. It will repeat horizontally with color red. And now let us take wherever the h3 tag is appears. Now we are modifying with 15.jpg as a background, and here we are not giving any repeat. We are specifying background repeat as no repeat, and color we are specifying RGB color. And wherever the h4 is appearing, we are placing 13, 14, 15. Whether 16 is there? Yes, 16 is there. Okay, now name of the image is 16. So here the image has to be appear, and the repeat must be, it will be continue repeats. Okay, so for this h1 we have given the content as this is a background image with urgent vertically, h2 is vertically, h3 is repeat, and h4 we have not provided any content. Let me take uh, h4. For this I'm copying and pasting and taking it as a h4. Wherever the elements are appearing, here image with repeats, image background image with repeat is possible. Okay, let me save it and minimize it. And we have taken now this property. Let me run in your browse. If you see here, the background image has taken, but we are getting confusion, right? So to avoid these confusions, we have to suppose to make height and width. Okay, if we make only height and width, we can get this concept, otherwise we are unable to get this concept, right? So here the h4 is appear already where it is not required. In h4 it is repeating, in the body tag it is repeating, right? In both direction it is repeating. Whether it is repeating, yes, it is repeating, but we are unable to get whether it is repeating or not. Okay, and here it is consist of the same thing, whether it is h4, whether it is h4 or h3, h1, h2, h3, h4. What is h3? 15, 16. Whether 15 is there, image 15 is there. Yes, so these are the two different images appearing with the background color. So if you provided the height and width, then you came to know how it is appearing. Okay, yes, if you provide the height and width, then you will know how that image is appearing. Okay, so this is about your background image. And background image repeats, you can make background image repeat in horizontal direction by giving repeat x. If you want to make it as in a vertical direction, by giving background repeat as y. If you want to make the image to repeat, you have to suppose to give the value as repeat. And if you don't want the repetition, then you have to suppose to give no repeat. Okay, so here we have provided, so that is the output here exists. You are seeing in this output. Now CSS background image positioning. Also you can position your image. Let us see what are the position, how we can position our image in HTML CSS background. If you would like to define where exactly an image appears with an HTML element, you may use CSS background position. If you want to define your image positions, then you have to suppose to use CSS background positions. There are three different ways of defining position, that is length, percentages and keywords. So if you want to define the position of your background, you can use three different positions. One is length and another one is percentages and another one is keywords. Let us see this sample program. Wherever the h1 is appear, here it is appearing the background to color background image, and you are specifying the background position by pixels. Here taking two pixels, x coordinate as well as y coordinate. This is x and this is y, where this x and y, height and width. Okay, height and width interacts, that place the position will be, the image position will be placed. Okay, and background repeat is no repeat. You are giving the no repetition for your h1 background, and your h2 you are giving the position as a 30% and 30%. If you take your image as 100% or 1000%, it is up to you. If you consider up to 100% or 1000%, wherever the 30% and 30% x and y touches, there your background position will set it, and your image will be placed in that positions. Okay, and next your top center is provided. It may be top center or top left, top right, top bottom, whatever it may be. So here the position can be specified by using keywords. That keywords are top, center, top, left. Likewise you can place your images. So length indicates by using the pixel values, percentages indicates by using directly percentages. It always indicates x and y coordinates. Okay, x and y coordinates. Let us see this sample program with the image as the right. Let me modify here in our program only. Let me take here background repetition is there. Instead of closing here, we have to copy this positioning also. Okay, let me copy this position, background positions, and copy and come here and paste here. Background position, first it is pixels, x and y coordinate, height and width coordinate, right? So next we will come here in second, and second also I am copying this same background positions, copying copying. I'm coming here and pasting. Okay, yes. Okay, background repeat is there, and let me remove here, red not is required. Here also background position, background repeat is there. We will remove this concept. Okay, this is for h1, this is for h2, and this is for h3. So I'm copying and I'm coming here the same h10. Let me paste here. Repeat is there. Let me remove this. Okay, for h4 we are not doing anything. Let it be. Let me save and let me check the position of our images. Okay, this is our position of images, and refresh it now. Now you are seeing the position of your images. Okay, so here h4 it doesn't consist in any positioning, hence it has not positioned. But your image for horizontal, you have specified the position of 10 pixel. That 10 pixel is, it starts here and ends here, right? And what about the third one, 30-30, wherever the 30% is start, where the 30-30 is starts here. So it has been positioned here. And for h3, and for the h3 it has positioned as top center. So top center has come here, right? h3 with no repeat, right? With no repeat is there, it is a top center. So background image position is placed. Please observe here, top, center. It is a top, it is a center. So we have placed the position of image, not as in a content. Okay, position of image we are placing. Please observe here. So likewise, this program will execute. Okay, so when using pixels, the location will be a pixel from the left to the screen and b pixel from the top of the screen. Likewise, here the explanation is given, and we are following this concept. Welcome, my dear students. Today we are going to be learning the concept of CSS font, cascading style sheet fonts. Right, with CSS you can change the size, color, style of a text and more. Okay, so by using this CSS you can change the size, color, style of the text by using your font. Let us see first how to change the font colors. Here are some of our examples changing the color of your font. Okay, yes, let us see. If you are using the style tag, means it is global, right? Global means embedded or inline. Inline, yes, inline style sheets. Got it? Yes. Now let us see, in this program we will see wherever the content of HTML starts in body tag. Wherever the content you are specified, you are applying different colors. So for heading 1, wherever the heading 1 tag is appearing, you are applying the color as red. So you are applying the color of heading 1 tag as red, and here you are using hexadecimal format. Hexadecimal format is also one of a combination of generating a color, and also you are using RGB. In the RGB you are giving these values, and these colors will be applied wherever the heading tags appear in your content. Okay, so whenever you run this program, you are identifying the output as this. Clear? Yes, let me check whether it will work or not. I'm copying and taking the notepad. Let me paste and save it. Okay, let me paste and save it. Right, so here color, what is h1? Selector. This is the declaration part, this is the selector, and this is the selector part. Right, h1 is the element, and that selector is always any kind of an element, not as an this element. You can specify any number of element. Okay, for example, I will show you one this. Let us see this W3 school. Right, okay, it is not having internet connection. Once we get the internet connection, we will see. Right, okay, we will open and show it. Okay, so it consists of any number of element. Let me save it. I'm saving in the desktop with the cs10.html. okay, yes, let me minimize this and run. If you open it with Google Chrome, it is showing this is the red one. You have applied the color as red, and this is red 2. It is some hexadecimal format. This hexadecimal format value is this color, and this RGB you have specified red is 0, green is 220, and blue is 98. So according to these combination of values, it is showing these colors. Got it? And now we are moving to the CSS font family and font size. So font family indicates various kinds of handwriting styles. You people are having various kinds of handwriting styles, right? In the same sense, you are identifying various kinds of handwriting styles in your document. You are identifying, right? Cambria, Calibri, Times New Roman, right? All these are the various kinds of fonts that you can use in your web pages. Got it? Even you can use Kannada, Hindi, right? Hindi also you can specify by using these fonts. Clear? Yes. So likewise you can specify that by using your font family, and also you can specify the size. Here if you click here, you are seeing the font size in the points. as it starts at 8 and ends at 72. It ends at 72. Besides that also it can be accessible. Okay, besides this also you can be accessible, you can give up to 1000, maybe up to 1000. Okay, yes, it is possible. Now we'll see how to apply font. Here font family can be divided into two groups. One is the serif and another one is the sans serif. Here serif and the sans serif is the two family of font group. Here it consists of some advantages. Okay, so that is why it has divided into two groups. Let us see what is the sans serif font. Sans serif font does not include the small lines at the end of characters, while a serif font does include these small lines. So here if you are using the sans serif fonts, it doesn't include the small lines at the end of the character. But if you use the serif, please observe here Microsoft sans serif is there. Let me take Microsoft sans serif, right? You can identify if I change this Microsoft sans serif, what it will happen, right? It doesn't include spaces, right? If I use just as a serif font, okay, sorry, here it is Microsoft serif. If I use it is not happening. Okay, no problem. It is a sans serif in the sense it will use small lines at the end of characters. Okay, at the end of characters, right? You can manipulate the size of your font family by using the values, percentages or key terms. So how we can give the size, either in the form of percentages or key terms. Let us see how we can give the size of our font families and font size to our elements. So this is also inline, sorry, it is an internal, no, it is an inline, right? Let me check, inline or global or no, not as an inline, internal, global or embedded, right? Yes, let us see here. Style type, text by CSS. Wherever the h1 tag is appearing in your content, its color should be red, and it's a font family. I'm taking the font family property, and for this value we are assigning sans serif, and font size is 120 pixel, 120 percentage, right? Wherever the h2 is appearing, we are applied the same, and font family is Arial and font size is 10 pixel. Got it? And here 10 points pixel is given. Now what do you mean by a pixel? Pixel is nothing but a dot. Okay, pixel is nothing but a dot. So if you want to know what is a pixel, let me take a paint. Okay, a paint program. Let me take paint. You are seeing here, right? Let me take one image. Okay, if I take one image, or if I zoom, I'm not able to identify it, right? So when I'm loading one picture, let me take in desktop, we are having some pictures, right? Let me take our college picture, right? If I zoom it, you can identify some dots are appearing, right? So you are identifying these kinds of dots. These kinds of dots are nothing but pixels. Okay, clear? Understood? Right? If you zoom it, it is a maximum is 800. 800 is done. So if you zoom, if you have given any color, then you are identifying some difference of these colors. Okay, so here it is not filling, so you are identifying the pixel. You are see, just observe here, this is one dot, actually it is a dot pitch. Okay, no problem. So that is a pixel. Okay, so that should be appear. And here also we are using some key terms here, extra large. So extra large as just if you are taking your clothes, you are giving as your size as a large, small, medium and double XL, right? So likewise these key terms are using wherever the font heading to element is appear in your body, its font family is Arial and its size is 10 pixel. If you are using heading tag 3, then font family is Vardhana and its font size is mentioned as extra large. So let me copy the same program and you are identifying. Let me modify the same program here and I'm pasting. So same program here, it has used font variant as a font family and font size. Let me save it and open our browser. It is a previous one. If I refresh it, you can see this is the font family of 120%, right? Here it is 10 pixel and here it is extra large. Got it? Suppose if you have done it as an 1000%, let me check what it will happen. If I click and if I refresh, automatically you are seeing this font as a turned into the 1000%, right? So if I make it as a 72 pixel, this is the highest pixel I am feeling. So let me check, if you refresh, it is also turned into the 72. And next you can give in a extra large. Already extra large is there, that is the thing. If I make it as a small, you will find the keyword small, then you are identifying what it is happening. So I'm refreshing, so it is come in for the style has changed into the small, right? Okay, so likewise you can modify your font. Here it is a font is appearing as a sans serif, here it is a Arial and it is Vardhana. So that is the difference you are identifying. And let me make 500 pixel and let me make it is extra x large, right? Extra large. X large indicates extra large, right? Now refresh it. If you refresh, it is showing this much size. Why? Because 150, it is sorry, 500, right? That is why it is showing that much. Let us make 150 pixel is enough and save it and come here and refresh it. So it is taken as 150 pixels. So hope you understand this concept. We will see it.